know it's been a while. I did try recording a review the other day, and I ain't gonna lie, I was mid recording it, and I just lost all enthusiasm, energy, effort, everything, all at the same fucking time. So apologies for that. I'm literally redoing that review. In fact, to make up for it, I may do a number of reviews today. Let's see how we go on. Well, first and foremost, let's talk about Line of Duty very, very quickly. I'm not going to go into this too long. Obviously, the conclusion of it was 4 weeks ago. You will know what happened by now. So, although this will be a spoiler review, hopefully you will know what happened by now. Line of Duty is one of my very most favorite TV shows that came on TV, particularly British TV. If you are outside of the UK, the BBC is probably the best place to watch Line of Duty. So try copying it through online or through the TV channels. And it was just an excellent suspense crime drama with lots of twists and turns and unpredictability, and it was just a wonderful TV program. One thing you'll find though is that when there's a TV show like that doesn't particularly have a long-term plan per se, but has a modicum of success, and that builds on that success through maybe through just popularity, word of mouth, just the quality of the program being very, very good. More often than not, they paint themselves into a corner. And that's what happened here. You know, Game of Thrones being a very, very good example of that. I must admit, I never watched one single episode of Game of Thrones. Never have. Just that type of shit. It's that type of drama person just doesn't interest me. I've never been interested in those fantasy historical type of TV shows. Or it's never done it for me. Never, ever, ever. You know, people used to always sell it to me in such ways like saying, "Oh, trust me, look, you get to see tits, you get to see sex and stuff like that." That I never grew into it. I think I watched 10 minutes of it one time, and I was bored as fuck. Game of Thrones was just one of those things that I never took to. But you know, that was a typical example of a TV program that grew and grew and grew in success. But by the time that they came to the end of the program, they didn't know how to end it. You know, there was never going to be an ending that was satisfactory because in a lot of ways, you know, it outgrown itself. It outgrown its expectation that anything that they did was going to seem underwhelming. You know, Sherlock to a certain degree, that happened as well. The only problem with Sherlock is, ironically, I think they peaked probably a season before they actually ended. As much as I love Sherlock, that was another one that again it grew so good so quickly that by the time they got to the end, I don't think they knew what to do. And in certain respects, with Line of Duty, I should have known that the same thing would happen. Now, obviously, lots of people were very disappointed with the ending. Finding out that the fourth man was DCI Buckles, it was just like, what, this guy? Because the ending could have been clever. It could have been clever. I'm sure many people were expecting it to be the chick, the bitch chick, the DCI. I've forgotten her name. You know, I'm sure most of us were expecting that. I'm sure some of us were expecting that, you know, it would be the mixed race girl because she's so clever. I mean, her dialogue. Let me commend her for a second as an actress, right? The amount of stuff that girl needs to learn to say during a scene is incredible. I don't know how she retains all that information. Very, very sharp, just in real life. Never mind the girl she's actually playing. But yeah, I think many of us were expecting her to have more of a kind of a role. It did feel like a bit of a damp squid because it was kind of like you painted this DCI Buckles to be this dumb fuck, and now you're expecting us to believe that actually he knew he was being this dumb fuck, and that was all part of his genius plan that still got him caught anyway. It just it didn't feel like earned. Like it didn't feel earned, and that was the problem, you know. So by the time you got to the reveal, people were like, "Really?" You know. Um, and obviously now it looks as though, I mean, this one would assume that it's over. One would assume that it's done because they've painted it in such a way whereby every season up until now, you know, AC12 by hook or by crook, no matter the blow that they've taken, usually ends with a sentence where they say that, you know, somebody AC12 are still in charge, they're still going strong, and they're still doing their thing. Whereas with this one, they let you know that AC12 is basically done, that their department's been swallowed up, um, and that they carry little to no authority whatsoever. Um, it'd be more interesting in some ways to see the comeback story than it would to see the actual story, uh, to see the story play out on a kind of a season on season basis. But I must admit, for me, whilst I found the season very tantalizing, you know, through all the kind of chases of Kate that they had, and I was convinced Kate was going to be it. I was convinced Kate was my girl from day dot. She was the one that I picked from morning to be the fourth member of H. Um, so by the time it got to the end, I was just like, oh. I ain't gonna lie, I was pissed off as well. But I will say this: I think all in all, for me, I still love the show. And if this is the end, 6 seasons of a really good BBC show, I'm more than happy with that. So yeah, it is what it is. You guys let me know what you think. I think if I was to grade the whole thing, to grade the program, to grade the actual show, I'd give it an A minus. And the minus purely comes in at the fact that it was such an unsatisfactory ending. But that's the only reason. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, crush and destroy it. And I'll be back. I'm about to do some reviews, baby. All right. Subscribe, people. Subscribe. Let's go. Road to 400 subscribers. Let's do it.